Yo, 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 we live on location, live from quarantine. We got PG13 out in the land of angels here in LA chilling. Y'all see the view in the mirror in the background. He got the palm trees and the beautiful weather. We got good weather ourselves. We in Orlando, but we are stay your ass at home in quarantine. So you feel me? But we got my man PG13 in the building, right next to me in the block. You know I got the blackest one. And we about to do this, man. Tune in, PG13 in the building. We appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me.
Let's go.
Oh, geez.
What it do?
We locked in.
Brought to you by AT&T 5G.
So the first question we ask everybody when they come on the show, when you first got to the league, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Damn. First person. You know what? It was Melo, man. It was Melo. My rookie year. Melo.
Denver Nuggets?
Denver Melo. He went for like 30 or 40. And Danny got hurt that game. Danny had to sit out, so he didn't play. So I got all the minutes, and that was the real like welcome to the league moment right there. Was guarding Melo ass. He gave me everything too.
All that mid range in between bully ball,
and that's when he was at his finest of that bully ball. Like the New York years, you know what I mean. You could tell it was starting to take a toll on him. That was prime time Melo.
He can move a little bit more.
Yeah. Right.
Straight up problem child.
Right.
Palmdale High School you went to. They only got one high school in Palmdale?
Nah, we got about 3 or 4. I went to Pete Knight High School in Palmdale. There is a Palmdale High School, but I went to it was a new school. So my senior year was the second graduating class.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
So we was new up and coming school.
And you was like a late bloomer in high school. Like you came
Super
out of
late.
nowhere.
Yeah, super late. I didn't play AAU until really going into my senior season, my senior summer. That was really like the first time I got on the AAU circuit. I practiced a little bit actually with Lamar Odom's I Can team my junior year.
And I remember when he had that team.
Yeah. So I was working out and practicing with those guys my junior year. But then my senior year is where I really stepped onto the scene.
That was when he had like Greg and Maul them running that team, right?
Yeah, well, Rock. I was with Rock and I forgot buddy name, but I don't know if you're familiar with Rock.
Now I know who he was too.
Yeah. So Rock and I forget the other dude, Lionel. I think Lionel.
Oh yeah, L.
Yeah. Them two was really the dudes I was under.
So coming out when you had to choose like colleges and stuff, like you committed to Santa Clara.
Yep.
And you went to what was that?
Pepperdine.
I've been on their campus and they got a dope campus.
Dope.
Hey,
they got a
a camp there, bro. Me and D-Miles had a camp there.
And I was like, man, they stuff stupid.
Yeah. So how the Santa Clara came about? So when I was playing AAU, I was playing pump and run. One of the assistants for the pump and run team was going to be the video guy for Santa Clara. And I just became super tight with him. So, it was like, hey, I'm going to stick with you. So I verbal, soft verbal. Then my sister went to Pepperdine. So I grew up on that campus. From like 13 to 17, I grew up there. So I knew that campus, hand in, hand out. So I went to actually my senior season, I went to my sister's Midnight Madness. And I'm blown away. I'm seeing stars. I'm blown away. So I remember that night, they coaches was there. They give me the offer on the spot. And I'm in a wild moment. I'm like, I'm coming here, coach. I'm coming. Send me the letter. Send me the letter of intent. By that week, they sent me the letter of intent. I signed. I committed to Pepperdine. The coach ended up resigning So I was able to get my letter of intent back. That's when I went to Fresno. But that's how that moment played out for me.
Yo, it's crazy you say that because when we went there, remember D-Man, we had the camp there. After our rookie year, we held a camp at Pepperdine. Then we had like a Jordan photo shoot and all this stuff. I remember It was like an overnight camp. We had our nephews come in town and stay there and stuff. But when we got there, we was like, how can they not get players? Like if they get anybody, we was like, this is like Saved by the Bell. People started with surfboards, the ocean. It was like, this place is crazy.
And I'm saying I grew up there. Like I used to be on that campus every summer, like just hanging, staying with my sister. I'll go work out there. So I was in love with the campus. So it was easy. You know, it was easy once I see Midnight Madness. I'm coming, coach. I'm coming. Send it and I'm there.
So when you get to Fresno, what is that like when you coming from where you come from? You now you stepping out, you on your own. You just your first time away from the crib on college, and what was that experience like for you?
It was cool, to be honest. You know, I grew up in Palmdale, so it's a small city. Fresno was a bigger city, but it's still a smaller community. So I still felt like I was at home. My parents was 3-hour drive. They could get to me if they needed to. So that all of that was cool, but it still was like, all right, I'm out of the house. You know what I mean? I'm a man now. You feel me? I can make my own decisions. I can get a tattoo now. You feel me? It was basically, you know what I mean? It was basically coming into my own, you know what I mean? And the decisions relied on me now. You feel me? So I took that to heart. Like, you know, everything revolved around me at that point.
Fresno being a small school, you know, like the bigger schools guys get the most hype.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, like, you really wanted to prove yourself at Fresno. Like, what was that like, trying to like make sure you like, yeah, I'm just as good as Joe Blow from Duke or so and so from UNC or these big schools.
So Fresno, you know, at the time they was coming off of restrictions. They was coming off of NCAA penalties from the previous, you know, teams of you know, guys not being eligible, and they had, you know, some dude did a shooting, so the school was under, you know, some deep surveillance and some deep restrictions. So my draft class, when the school found out, when I signed and, you know, boosters found out they was getting me, like I felt I was like the savior, you know what I mean? I felt I had a lot of pressure because the school was starting to turn around, and this was one of their best recruiting class in the past like 3-4 years. So coming into the campus, I knew I had a lot of pressure. So that would like drove me to work hard. Like I wanted to you know, uplift the school. Now we didn't really do much in my time there. We struggled, but I still felt like I had that weight to carry. And that's what used to drive me and made me want to work and made me want to get better and you know, carry the school well. So that was like a big motivation when I first got on campus.
So how was it for you when you got to your, you know, after your sophomore year, you balling out? At what point did you decide, like, all right, I'm ready, it's time for me to take this next step, and you know what I'm saying, I done really what I can do here at college, it's time for me to go to the league? And did you know, or did you expect to be that high of a pick, or what was your thoughts surrounding that whole process for you?
After my sophomore year, I wanted to stay because we didn't make the tournament my first 2 years there, and that was something I knew I was gonna regret. Like, you know, that's the moment you want to play in a tournament. So after my sophomore year, I had a real like heart-to-heart with my moms and pops. And I'm like, nah, I really want to stay. But they like, you know, we hearing this, we hearing that. And through that whole sophomore year, they've been meeting with agents, you know what I mean, here and there, coming, going. They've been hearing the talk. And I knew I could have, you know, made it to the league at that point, but I just didn't feel accomplished at that point to move on to the next level. So, you know, time passed. I started working out, training. Then I started to come down to LA and take it serious with my pre-draft workout stuff. Then at that point, you know, I'm feeling good. So I'm like, you know, let's go all in. Let's do this. Let's try for the draft. My name was doing well. I'm facing, you know, the big time players now. And growing up where I came from, I used to watch the ABCD camp. I used to watch the you know, all the big time, you know, AU circuit stuff, you know, and they used to come out with the DVDs and the VHS stuff. So I knew a lot of these guys. I was familiar with a lot of their faces. And I used to be like, man, if I ever get a chance to see them face to face, I'm gonna give them everything I got. And I started seeing them in these workouts. And I was all over their ass at that point. I was on them. They ain't know me, but I knew them. You know what I mean?
You literally got to actually go against some of the dudes, and clearly their agents didn't know because they would have hit them. You know how that go. Like when we was coming through, it was like, yeah, you can't work out against this guy. You can't. They're not gonna send them again.
Right.
So it was like, that's cool that you actually got to sneak up on them. Like, y'all don't even know what's popping. I'm about to tell you what up.
Yeah. I had my draft year. I had 18 workouts, so I started working out for. You know what I mean? I started working out for late second round or mid second round. Then I started working out early second, late first. Then I moved into the mid 20s, then the late teens.
See, me and you alike. Him right here to the box next to me. He came in, had like 2 workouts and was going to dinner.
Right. He can't relate, huh?
Talking with people, having conversations. He ain't got no real. He was already the chosen one.
Yeah,
I had more than 2, man. I had more than 2. It wasn't many, but it was more than 2.
Like 4.
He had the callbacks. He had the callback.
Yeah, and I was say the
2
same
people he worked out for, but he had the callback.
He did that too.
Hey, when you were getting drafted, did you think you was gonna go anywhere else?
To the Indy.
Yeah.
You know what? I thought a couple scenarios was gonna play out. I had a really good workout for Minnesota, and they had the 4th pick. They picked West, I think, Wesley Johnson. But I thought I had a great workout with them. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking I can go 4th. Like, that's best case scenario. Then the Clippers had the 8th pick. And I thought I had a pretty good workout, that workout. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like 8th, 4th, 8th, I should be cool in that area. Like, then I had another great workout in Indy at 10th. So I knew at that point, like, and what my agent was telling me, the latest I'll go was Indy. They almost was gonna promise that they was gonna get me at 10th. So I knew I was in a good spot regardless. You know what I mean?
You just made me think about. I think I saw you was it Jimmy Kimmel or something back in the day, and he was asking you whether you know who you grew up. While you was saying you grew up watching the Clippers, like you was saying like Kobe was your favorite player,
right?
But you know you enjoyed watching our Clippers team. Could you tell us like what age that was for you and when you started watching us?
When I started, I was probably like 12, 13. I was in that range when I remember watching the Clippers teams. I was like 11, 12, 13, like in that area right there. That's when I first started when y'all had, you know, you, L.O., D. Miles, Quentin Ross, what's the Serbian dude?
You talking about
Yard.
Yard.
Yeah, man. Y'all, that was, you know, I just thought y'all was fun to watch. You feel me? I thought y'all was a fun team to watch. Y'all played hard. Y'all had fun with it. And that's how I was brought up to play the game. Like y'all, you play the game to have fun. You play, you know what I mean, to you play for your teammates. And I felt like that's how y'all played. Regardless of who scored, you could hit a 3. D. Miles was celebrating. You feel me? Like y'all had fun. You feel me? Y'all had fun with the game, and I used to love that.
Yeah, that's what's up. When you was the year that you had you played the Miami Heat and you went toe to toe with LeBron, you had a great series against arguably at the time the best player in the league. Like, was that the year that you feel like you was there? Like oh no, I'm amongst the best in the league. Did that solidify that year, or was it before then?
Nah, it was that year. That was, I think, 2013-14 season. That was probably the toughest year for many reasons. Because I felt like I played Bron. That was my second time matching up with Bron. And I felt like that time I was there. Like that next season, I was going to be ready to go at Bron for real. After everything I learned, after the wounds, I felt like I was ready. You know what I mean? I was young then, but I feel like I was starting to come into my own and starting to learn like how to really be the player I want to be. But then, you know what I mean, that summer, that's when I got hurt. And I just really that 2013-14 year, like it just haunts me going into that 14-15 year because of that injury and because of where I was at and felt I could have got to. Because I mean, you know, realistically, I was never the same after that.
Let me ask you this: from your injury, did that make your jumper so much better?
That shit did. That shit did.
Because you just been doing nothing but shooting and shooting.
Nothing but shooting. I was in a chair. When they was starting camp, they used to put a chair, you know, on the little side courts and put a chair right there. And I have, you know, my leg brace on, and I just be sitting, form shooting the whole practice, working on my handle. I thought my handle got tighter because all I could do was just sit, dribble, sit, and shoot.
Yeah. Like, hold on, bro. It looks so effortless now. Like, seeing your jumper before and then seeing it after the injury is like, pull up. You already got a smooth, effortless type game.
Mm-hmm.
But now your jumper be like, I'm like, damn, he pulling up for deep, but it just seems so soft.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, man, he probably shot so much
with the headsy joint.
Form. Like you down there don't need too much legs. Sometimes you come off your move and you don't got too much legs, and your form is just done this still with effort. I was like, damn, after this injury, he must have worked on that so much.
Yeah, that did help because I used to my trainer, Mike Penberthy at the time, when I was going through all of that, I would work with him sometimes. And he would have us shooting with heavy balls. And we would shoot with like 3-pound heavy balls from 35 feet, you know what I mean? So shooting that heavy ball, you got to use your legs to get that shot up. So it just became natural when I had a regular ball that it was just from here, you know what I mean?
Like
just here, was flicking.
Super light.
And yeah, he used to tell me, you get the ball right here, is nothing nobody can do. You know what I mean? The ball's right here. I'm taller than most of the guys that guard me. So once the ball's right here, it's nothing they can do about that. You just got to free your hands up.
You don't even see them no more.
I don't even see them no more. Exactly.
I want to know, like, what was take me inside your thought process when you got injured. Everybody didn't know what to think. Is he going to be back? Is he going to be able to hoop again to see? You had to return to form, all-star and all that. What was your mindset for any kids or anybody out there that's like going through injuries? They probably want to know, how did PG, you know what I'm saying, overcome what you did? Like, how did you set out to attack this injury in rehab?
I ain't gonna lie, it was a roller coaster because immediately when it happened, I was motivated. You know what I mean? That's the only place my mind could have went was, all right, I got to get back. Like, I got a team to get back to. I got a career to get back to. Like, we at our primes right now. I had Roy at his prime, G Hill at his prime, D West at the tail end of his prime, but he was still, you know, a big time player. Lance in his prime. Like, I had a team to get back to. So immediately when the injury happened, I was motivated. And then once I started going through it, the works just started to get tedious. Like, I was doing the same thing every day. Like, it just became like boring, you know what I mean? And then I would have ups and downs. Like, some days I'll feel real good, and then some days it'll hurt so bad it felt like I just did it, you know what I mean? So I remember some days I just be like, man, let's leave it alone. Let's let it heal. Like, let this joint heal, and we'll get back to the rehab when we can, you know? But I was thankful, and luckily enough, I had the people behind me that was pushing me. Otherwise, like, I don't know how I would have overcame, you know what I mean, getting myself prepared and ready that next season to get back on that floor. That shit was hard, though. I ain't gonna lie. It was one of the hardest things I ever did in my life.
I can't even imagine, bro.
Man, but I'm glad you back in you and where form, man, because you look like you got better, like IQ wise and knowing the game more, knowing how to play the game more. Your IQ and the way you play now look totally different than what it was before.
Yeah, I mean, that should do it to you. When you sideline a whole season and you just get to watch and nitpick players you looked up to, players that's guard. Like I just was able to nitpick everything. Nitpick guys that I looked up watching, guys I enjoy matching up with, guys that I know that's gonna guard me. Like I just had a full season to just sit back and just watch them. You know what I mean? And just mentally prepare for when my time was coming.
Tell me about when it came time for you to make the move from Indy to OKC, and how did all of that from your lens transpire and go down?
That was this is what people want to know right here. So it was just a bunch of events that played out. Like I always wanted to come home and play in LA, but when I was in Indy, my goal was to win one there. And I never wanted to leave Indy. Like, regardless of what I said, once everything rolled out, then at that point, it was like, man, I want to get to LA. Like, fuck everything going on. I want to get to LA. But when I first got to Indy, I wanted to stay there. Like, I grew up on Kobe. So Kobe stayed in LA. That was where his home was. That's how I felt guys should look at it. So after things start to play out, I watched Danny get hurt, Danny struggling, and they just shipped Danny off, knowing Danny was at a critical point in his career where he needed Indy. Like, he needed to be with people he knew to get back healthy. And I saw them just ship him away. So that kind of played a part on me. Then I remember, like, one morning I wake up and I see G Hills traded. And I don't like front office people, like the front office stuff. I'm not that dude that, like, I got to be in decisions. I got to be like, if y'all going to do something, just let me know. Like, I'm cool with anything. That's not my position to be, like, you know, in the front office combos. Just let me know. That's all I ask. Just let me know. So when I see G Hill got traded that morning, I'm hot. I'm hot about it. Like, I call my agent, like, yo, they gonna do this and not tell me? Like, what is they own? So that happened. Then I'm hearing my name is in trade rumors. My name is in trade talks. I'm an all-star that year, so we go to New Orleans, and the president and the GM meet me in which is Larry and Herb Simon. They meet me in New Orleans to talk about my name being in the trade deadlines, and Kevin Pritchard, and they like, nah, we would never trade you. You're not movable. Like, you this, you that. You are a star. You are our future. So I'm like, all right, cool. Like, this is where I want to be. So that's fine. Then, you know, trade deadline is before All-Star Weekend is over with.
Yeah.
So after All-Star Weekend, I'm feeling good. I had this convo with him. Then again, I hear my name in the trade talks again. My agent come to me like, yo, these teams are inquiring for you, and the Pacers are talking. Like, they're just, you know, hearing other teams out. So I'm like, we just had this convo, and they still looking to make trades. So that didn't sit well with me. But I know it's a business at the same time. I'm not naive to after that convo. So now all of that goes on. So when that season is over with, let me take that back. This is not 13-14. This is 15-16 year. So after that season goes on, after that year is over with, you know, I came out publicly like, I want to be here. I want to be here. Like, this is where I want to be. So now it's that summer, and I do this baseball, softball league, or softball charity game every year, every summer in Indiana. So I go back to Indy. I do the softball game. They ask me again, like, you know, what do you want to do? You want to be here? I'm like, yeah, I want to be here. This is where I want to be. So I had a phone call with them that night. And mind you, while I'm there, you know how it goes. Cats like, yo, I want to play with you. You know, D Miles, I would love to come here and play with y'all. Like, I ain't gonna say the names because I'm gonna keep their business private. I'm gonna just say it like this. I had at the time the best power forward saying he wanted to come to Indy and team up with me. They like, we a mid-major, we're a small market. Like, we can't do it. We're a small market. We can't afford that. I'm like, the best power forward wants to come play here. Like, Y'all can't make that work. They didn't want to do it. So I'm like, now I'm pissed because it's like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to win. I got the best power forward that want to come play here. Like, not everybody choose Indy to come play at. This dude wanted to come play here. They didn't want to do it. So fast forward back to after that softball charity game, they called me up. They like, hey, and again, I'm going to leave the names out. But now this person that they talking about is maybe top 20 power forwards, top 25 power forwards. They put him up like, hey, how do you feel about this person? And this other person that they was going to sign in free agency was a dude coming off injury. So I didn't feel comfortable about that. After that phone call, I'm like, they don't get it. I call my agent like, man, get me up out of here. They don't want to win. So that's how everything kind of transpired to sum the whole thing up. That's basically how that whole thing went about, and I got up out of Indiana.
What did you initially think about when you got traded with Melo and West? You finna go over there with Westbrook, like?
I felt good. I was like thrilled about it. Like all alone, that's what I wanted. I wanted another dog. I was with Lance, and Lance was a dog, and that's what I wanted. Like I feed off of, you know what I mean, that kind of energy and that type of player. Like I was excited to play with Russ, and then I get Melo at the same time. Like I felt we didn't have enough time together, but I felt good about that trio.
Yeah, I believed in that combo too. I liked it, y'all together, especially you and West.
Yeah, I felt like that was just, like you said, like a crazy year where everything was kind of out of whack. And then, you know, we all know how that unraveled.
Right.
But then how was that? Well, I mean, we didn't sing, you know what I'm saying? But for you, you know what I'm saying? We didn't sing ourselves. But for you, how has it been so far being back home in LA? And, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got the team y'all doing what y'all been doing. How does that, I mean, you know, you had a couple of minor injuries here there, but how has that been for you?
It's been great, man. It's been great. I feel like everything aligned at the right time. Like, you know, year 10 for me. I'm playing with a Hall of Fame coach. I'm playing with a Hall of Fame player. Multiple of them, man. You can have a case for Lou, you know, being a Hall of Fame player too with his career. So I just feel like everything lined up. I'm back at home. It's easy on my mom, my parents. Like, I just felt like everything was positioned where it was supposed to be for year 10 for me.
And what about like the movement? You know, everybody in LA is like the Lakers winning the championships and they compete for the championships, but like you starting off history. This is the first time we have a dominant squad like that for the Clippers, and
right,
like you represent another crowd in LA.
You know what I mean? It's cool. It's LA, so you already know this is Laker town regardless. Just being out, man. I remember first getting here, I went to where we go? Universals. We went to Universals for horror nights, and all I'm here, like, if I was that type of dude, bro, I probably would have threw hands with about 5 people that night. Just cause they like Laker this, Laker that, Clippers weak, like this Lakers town. So it is what it is. Our play is going, you know what I mean? We know the 16 to no championship. Like we know the history behind it, so that's fine. Our play is what's gonna do the most talking. I think it's just cool and to be from here and to be able to see 2 good LA teams. Like I think the city needed that. I think, you know what I mean, Cali needed that. So you know, especially when the Warriors get back on their feet. Like, I think California needed that, and we delivering that. It sucks that we had a pause right now because of COVID, but I think it's just good for the city, man, to have 2 really good LA teams.
Talk about, like you bringing up the COVID thing. I watched that, and I seen something I don't think I've seen from anybody else. Like with y'all owner Ballmer, is it true that he sent everybody a full weight room and everybody a hoop to their home?
That is facts.
Tell me how is it to be playing for him, an owner with that much excitement and support for the team? And we know he got the big pockets, but the more important thing is really about how he you know, we've been there. They brought us back for the first time since that regime has come in, and just to see how his energy is toward the guys and the team and raising the Clippers as an entity of their own. Like, for us to have been there during the time before we even had a practice facility, practicing at Southwest College, junior college, you know what I'm saying? Like, see where it is now and where y'all headed with the arenas and just how he pours into y'all, like, that makes us feel good for y'all. So how was that for y'all to be able to experience that on that type of a level? Because he going all out.
Yeah. You know what? It's honestly, it's dope, man, because he about it. Like, it's not a show. It's not like an attention seeking, like, that's him. You know what I mean? He 100% energy. And it's about the culture that he wants to build here. Like, he tell us multiple times, whatever it is that we need, whatever's not in the locker room that y'all want, come to me. Like, at the end of the day, I want this to be the destination for every player to want to come to. I want to build a history here. I think he understood the owner that was here before him, and he wants to separate himself from him. So honestly, it's been a blessing. Like, after games, man, he'll send us a text, you know, good job, you guys hung in there, y'all fought hard, whatever the case may be for that particular game. Like, he's always a part of us, you know what I mean? After games, he waits in the hallway. When we finish our games, he high-fiving. Like, we feel like he's a part of us. Like, he's not the owner, he's a part of this team. And so it's like it's a real joy to go out and want to play for him. You know what I mean? Want to do well for him, want to bring a championship to him, because of everything that he's done for us and how much he's involved and how much genuineness it is from him.
And I feel good for all of the people, like, you know, all of the JPZs, the Denises, everybody that been working there for so long under the other. It just feels good on both ends for them. How now they have a great owner who's trying to go run through a wall and do everything for them, and then they got a great team that they can support and they can do their work for and cheer on a team that's winning and has a chance to do something. So, you know, we got deep ties over there with Denise, JPZ, and all type of other people. So it's just cool to look from afar and to see them getting a chance to enjoy a successful type season and be involved.
And that shit is all factuals, man. I do got about 5,000 worth of equipment that he sent. That he sent me. It's about $5,000 worth of equipment.
I got hundreds of pair of Jordans. I got 2 pair of Kobe's, and I just purchased me 2 pair of PGs. Like, I got 2 pair of Jordans, and them like the most comfortable shoes that I got. Like, I rock them every day. I had an all-white pair. Them ones so dirty because I just wear them so much. But how does it feel to, like, have a shoe in your name and, like, have a dope shoe, like a comfortable shoe that, like, folks want to rock?
Yeah, it's man, to be honest, bro, it's a humbling thing every day. Like, I still, like, it still gets me, like, taking a box out and putting a pair on. Like, it that never gets old. Just because of, you know, where my story started. Like, it just always is crazy and surreal. But when the process came of putting a shoe together, like, I played in, you know, obviously a bunch of different shoes, and I wanted a shoe that, like, dudes felt great in, felt good performance-wise, felt good if they just wanted to pop them on and walk around in. Like, I just wanted a shoe that was gonna feel great at all times. And that was, like, really the first starter of my base was comfort and cushion. And that's all. Really, that's all I wanted out of the shoe was comfort.
Like, I wear a size 18, and I got the ones with the zipper come up.
You got the fours, okay, the zip.
Oh, man. I'm talking about they loving me out here. You know, I wanted to represent the Clippers and the Players Club. Hey, you got me looking nice out here. So
my dog, I got you. Whatever you need to re-up, let me know. I
appreciate you.
Hey, this is what I wanted to ask. Like, we spoke on, like, the quarantine and everything is going on, and clearly that's why we here instead of pulling up. But for you, you know, you was going through little knick-knack injuries and stuff like that. How has this been for you? Have you had the chance to, like, get your body right, and do some strengthening up on your injuries, and if everything was to start back, how do you think your body would be feeling the rest of the way?
Yeah, this was this little pause, man. I needed this because I feel like the whole year I was playing catch up. I was just trying to catch up with the team, and it took, like, when I did build myself up to be able to start playing, it was something else that went down, and when I got that back healthy, something else went out. It was just tough because I couldn't do nothing this whole summer. I literally took 4 months, 5 months off of just anything, any basketball movement, activity, because I couldn't lift my shoulders up. I couldn't do nothing. So I really lost a lot of like just getting my body going. So building it up and then going through the season was a toll on me because, you can't replicate that type of movement. You can't replicate that kind of conditioning. So that really affected me. But then this little pause right now has been perfect. I feel amazing right now. My shoulders literally like 2-3 weeks ago finally like loosened all the way up to where I don't really got to do shoulder rehab no more. I was still doing shoulder rehab all the way up until about 3 weeks ago. And this was almost a full year since I had them done. You feel me? So it's just been a process, and my body just feels great right now. It's responding well. I've been lifting and working out every day, staying ready, but I needed this little break.
You do something different than a lot of people. Like, you talked about your softball, baseball charity game, but you have a huge fishing charity event. How did you tell me about how you got into that, and what does that do for you? Because it's not something that you see a lot of people doing in their off time and stuff like that, or at least having charity events of it.
Right. So fishing, I got into fishing because of my pops. My parents is from the South. My dad from Houston, my mom from Louisiana. So I grew up here in Cali, but I grew up like a country kid. Camping, fishing, hunting, like that was me growing up as a kid. So it just, that was really how my dad and I spent a lot of time bonding, was just being outdoors. And then I just got a real love for it, a real passion for it. My dad's whole side, like everybody fishes. My uncles, my aunt, my cousins, like everybody fish on that side, and on my mom's side as well. So it just became a part of me. And then I saw, like, CP got his bowling event, and other players got little events that they do. Nobody's done it fishing, and I wanted to really like bring that together with having celebrities come out, being on the water. It's a cool, chill day. Like, you get to be on the water, you get to fish, have a couple cold ones, It's just a chill, It's a chill, cool environment to be around when you fishing. And it's a cool getaway for me. I'm not thinking about nothing. All you thinking about is a bite and trying to feel for a fish on the hook. So it's just a cool getaway for me. It's a cool outlet for me.
How do you feel to be a part of like this era? You have so many kids from California, like the top players, like you, Westbrook, Kawhi, James Harden. It's like a lot of California kids, a lot of kids who came up through the circuit with you that you kind of familiar with their face from young all the way to now. Like, how does it feel to be like a part of that group of guys who represent California, and seeing kids in California, now that you're in California, to see like, oh man, these guys came from here.
Right. I think, I think Kobe played a big part in that. Y'all played a big part in that. BD played a big part in that. Of, guys like that. We was fortunate to grow up in California and have great role models and leaders in front of us that we could watch on a daily basis. So I think a lot of that movement came from what was going on in Cali. With, it's just so many dudes out there, from, dudes that ain't, in the league right now. Like B. Jennings was a monster.
Yeah. D. Wright, Trevor Ariza.
D. Wright, T. Trev. Yeah, man. We just, it was just a culture because of what we were seeing every day. And that really just, I think, what just birthed a whole new, you know, from myself, DeMar, Russ, James,
More,
Clay.
yeah.
You know, it's just so much good hoops here that, you know, I think y'all had a part in that. And even like Gil and Nick Young, like it was just so many hoopers that we was able to see that kind of birthed that next generation.
Who you grew up watching, like, to like pattern your game after? Cause like I see a whole lot of like T-Mac. Like
T-Mac, yeah. T-Mac,
like really not, cause his used to be so effortless, and he'd be like, man, this man this tall, he do everything. He dunk, shoot threes, put up, he do everything.
Right. T-Mac was my number one. Kobe was my number one, but I felt like I related to T-Mac the most. Because I was a tall, lanky kid. I was playing the point all the way through my years growing up, and I was always like a foot taller than every kid growing up. So I feel like I related to T-Mac the most. I was big on Penny. I was a big Penny fan, a big AI fan. I would say those four was like the biggest. And Josh Howard. I would say those five was like the guys that I thought my game was most like. Josh Howard. Josh Howard was a sleeper for me.
He was nice.
He was a sleeper for me.
Yeah, I messed with Josh Howard. Hey, if you had to pick 4 other players that you played with in your career to start a team, who is the 4 players that you would pick?
4 players that I played with? Man, all right. Russ for sure at the 1. Let me see. I'll go me at the 2, Kawhi at the 3. I could go Mel or D West at the 4 and Big Roy at the 5.
So you going what?
Big Roy at the 5. Big Roy Hill.
Big Roy Hill.
Yeah. Gotta go Big Roy at the 5.
Straight up.
1, 2, 3 is deadly though.
Deadly.
Hey, who when you coming up, who was the walking bucket? Who was you saying you was like, man, every time I see him, he getting buckets?
Coming up, like what, high school?
Any class, high school, college, pro.
You know what?
Like,
I played AAU with people don't know this, bro. Like the best high school dude I played was Drew. I played with Drew on my AAU team when I first got into the AAU. I was on a pump and run with Drew, and he was by far the best player I've seen, bro. Like he went he right-handed, but he went left even more than he do now. You know what I mean? Like some games he'll shoot left-handed. Like he was just a beast in high school. He was the best player I seen when at that age, like there was nobody next to him in my eyes.
That's dope.
And then I'll say Lance, like as far as pure bucket, Lance was a pure bucket. Like
Lance will make him dance, man.
Man, bro, his game was like he pushed me when we got to Indy. Like he pushed me. Like I ain't never seen somebody that skilled and had that many tricks in their bag than Lance.
And big boy too.
Do you remember?
And a big body.
Big body.
Kevin, yeah. Do you remember the first body you caught? Like the first person you kaboomed on in the league?
My first body? Who was my first body?
Probably did be hard to remember that sometimes. D like to make fun of me. My first person was Mookie Blaylock, and his was Jermaine O'Neal.
Hey, bro, why the fuck did you keep on saying Mookie Blaylock? That's not. Stop telling people that.
He ain't really punching.
Was the next person you dunk on a 7-footer? Because you said Mookie, that's like the weakest one. You can dunk on. That's like saying you dunk on Earl White.
It's not my fault.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I think my first one was like Randy Foy.
Randy Foy?
Yeah, I think my first one was Randy Foy. Like
now he about to try and talk about you.
I ain't gonna be, you know what I mean, proud about it. But I think the first like actual body was Randy Ford.
Your first one, Randy Ford, tell him it was Birdman. It's Birdman, my first.
Yeah.
Hey, after you dunked on Birdman, like, I know, like, no, not after you dunked. When you got home or back to the hotel from the game, you know they showing this shit everywhere. Like,
everywhere.
You probably see this every day if you look at social media. They probably
I still see that shit everywhere. I still see it. I'm still getting tagged in that shit. There's still people making pictures and drawings of that shit.
Oh my God. Like,
you know what? In real time, I ain't really know what happened. After I hit Bron with the hezzy, the shit just, I don't know, shit just happened.
Autopilot.
Hezzy, one bounce.
You know you hollering.
And all I'm doing is just wolf smoke, showing my chest. I don't know how and what happened. That shit just happened, bro. To be honest, that shit just happened.
It was nasty.
Yeah.
All right, man. How hype has The Last Dance got you since you can't hoop?
It's a curse, man, because I watch an episode and I'm like, check ball. Like,
ready to go.
Check ball. And then you can't do shit. So it's cool though. It's
Don't get
cool
on
though.
Get in the park.
For real. It's cool because like I grew up while Mike was playing, but I didn't really get to like see Mike. You know what I mean? So it was cool to watch this and be able to just watch him and see who he was at his peak. Because as much as I remember of Mike was like his Wizards days. So I don't really know Mike like that with his Bulls days. So this was honestly cool just to see how he approached the game. You know, how he got up for games. Like it's just awesome and it was dope to see. Like him and Kobe splitting images. Like his interviews and his mindset was the same how I grew up watching Kobe's mindset. So it's dope. It's dope to see. Like really, it was a reincarnation of Mike watching Kobe.
Straight up. The closest thing we gonna see to it.
Facts.
Straight up.
I got a couple fun ones, right? He always asks the bust your ass question. I always ask, like, when you first got that bread.
Yep.
When you first got that bag, what? And I ain't talking about the little, you know, what you tell them. We all done did it. We all done did something that we ain't that proud of with some bread, but it felt awesome in that moment.
Right.
What is your moment of where you got the bag and then you did something, you was like, oh, I'm doing it. I'm getting this, or what was it?
You know what? I got the Escalade trucks was hitting back then, like 2010. The Escalade trucks was the shit then. So I got the truck version. You know the Escalade EXTs. I think they is the
yeah.
I got that lifted. I got I think 26s on it, just dumb big. Got it matte blacked out. The rims was painted black. Silver, I had the silver accessories all on it. The shit was looking stupid. Blacked the grill out. Man, I thought I was big boy in it then. That was my big purchase. That was the very first purchase I made. And then obviously I got my parents a crib right shortly after that. I think that next coming year. But yeah, that Escalade truck, man, I wasn't into jewelry and shit like that then.
Ain't it amazing how we'll take that one truck and try and do a million things to it?
We paid 50 for the truck and put a whole 30 into
it. Yeah. Hey, trust me, I had it all planned. I was about to get the TVs in that junk. I was about to get the sound in it.
It's only right.
About to go off. Hey, bro, let me show you our age a little bit, right? I'm gonna show you our age. This is how old me and D Miles are, right? When we first got our joint, we get the twin Escalades. He got the black one, I got the white one. He got gold Hunter's Post Dave, I got chrome Hunter's Post Dave. But this is what we show our age at. Y'all talking about video games. We had a Dreamcast in ours.
Dreamcast.
In the whips, though.
That's crazy.
I had 612s in my junk.
Yeah.
612.
Nowadays, niggas is cool with the stock.
D's on that.
You good.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
And man, we rooting for you, man. Like, man, I definitely think y'all gonna win a championship. I had y'all this year winning the championship. We gonna see, but I definitely think y'all gonna win the championship in these next couple of years, man. I'm definitely rooting for y'all. Well, we rooting for y'all.
Appreciate it.
So that's a wrap, man. We got my main man, PG13. We appreciate you for coming through and vibing with us, man. We are at home. He is out there in Cali. We are in Orlando. This has been dope. We appreciate you, man. We
Future Hall of Famer, bro.
Yeah, for sure. And we wish you good luck if and when this season continues, bro.
For sure. Can I get a can I do one time with y'all?
Yeah.
My guys. Man, I appreciate y'all having me.
Yes, sir.